Student, welcome to lesson 3, Physiography and Drainage, part 4, Brazil, drainage pattern of Brazil. The major rivers of Brazil are divided into 3. Number 1, Amazon Basin, Paraguay-Parana river system, and third one is Sao Francisco. So let us learn the first river, Amazon River. Amazon collects its headwater from the eastern slope of Andes mountain in Peru. So my dear student, Peru is located over here. In this way the Andes mountain are, and it collects its headwater from here, from the Andes mountain, and then the river flows. Amazon River receives huge discharge. Discharge means the amount of water. Supply of water is very huge. This is about 2 lakh meter cubic per second. As a result, Amazon washes off the load supplied to it from the catchment. Consequently, sediments are not deposited even at the mouth. So much of load is carried from here, the amount of water is carried from here, and then it goes over here. But even then, at the mouth here, there is no delta region is developed over here, because all the sediments which gets collected, it goes to the North Atlantic Ocean, and therefore no delta is formed over here. A dense network of distributaries, which is a characteristic feature of river mouth area, is by and large absent at the mouth region of Amazon. So my dear student, here there are no distributaries over here in the river mouth. So as river flows over here, only Amazon River meets the North Atlantic Ocean. No distributaries, no fan-like shape is developed. That means no deltic region, no delta is formed at the mouth of river Amazon. Instead, we find a series of islands developed along the mouth of Amazon beyond the coastal line in the Atlantic Ocean. So as the water goes inside here, then some islands are formed because of the deposition of the sediments in the interior of the Atlantic Ocean. It will be interesting to note that at the mouth of the river, the width of Amazon channel is 150 kilometer. So here the width of Amazon channel is 150 kilometer. Let us take into consideration from your place where you are staying to towards Mumbai. Is it 150 kilometer? Let us say we are in Pune, from Pune to Mumbai. It is not at all 150 kilometer. Nasik to Pune, not 150 kilometer. So that much width over here of Amazon River Basin is. That means the river is widely spread. Most of the courses of the river Amazon is suitable for navigation. So river Amazon, right from here till here, it is suitable for navigation. Navigation means the transportation by the ship, by the water is done. Marine transportation can be available because the width of the river is quite wide, and therefore transportation is very easily available or possible, and therefore it is done. Second river system is Paraguay-Parana river system. So Paraguay is here and Parana is here. These two rivers are located in the southern part of the Brazil. So this is southern part of Brazil, here southern direction. Both the rivers form a catchment of River Plata in the Argentina. So Argentina is this part, Argentina country, and this Parana river and Paraguay river flows and forms the catchment area, it shades their water in the Plata River. They meet River Plata in Argentina. These two rivers are these two rivers and River Uruguay in extremely south of the highland collects their headwater from the southern portion of the highland. So Uruguay River, you can see here, Parana River and Paraguay River, they collect their water. This is the Brazilian highland. So from Brazilian highland, they collect their water. This is the catchment area, the highland, Brazilian highland. They collect their water and they moves down to Argentina, and then they finally meets to South Atlantic Ocean. Then the next river is Sao Francisco. So you have a look of Sao Francisco River, which flows from again a Brazilian highland, and it moves towards the northern direction. It goes to north, and then finally it takes a turn towards the east to meet the South Atlantic Ocean. So let us see. It is the third important river of Brazil. The entire basin of this river is within the Brazil. So from here till here, it is within the Brazil country. It occupies the eastern portion of the highland. So this is eastern portion of the highland. So this river within the Brazilian highland, Brazil country. The other rivers like Paraguay, Parana, they move to Argentina, Uruguay, and then finally meets the South Atlantic Ocean. This river, Sao Francisco River, within Brazilian country, Brazil, and then it finally meets the South Atlantic Ocean. The river flows towards the north for a distance about 1000 kilometer. So from here it origin, and then 1000 kilometer till here it moves over 1000 kilometer over the plateau, and then takes a sharp eastward turn. So you can see a sharp turn over here, almost like a 90-degree, and then it goes sharp eastward turn and flows towards South Atlantic Ocean. So it takes a sharp eastward turn to enter the coastal strip along the Atlantic Ocean. The river is navigable for a distance about 250 kilometer downstream the reaches. So from here it is 250 kilometer navigable. That is the transportation by the through the ships and boats are possible for about 250 kilometer. Let us learn some few coastal rivers also of Brazil over here. Um, 2 3 rivers. Let us see. Brazil has a number of short coastal rivers. The coastal areas being densely populated, this river attains significance. So this region, Brazil has a lot of population over here, and therefore these rivers have more importance. River Paraniba and River Itapecuri Kuru flowing northwards meet the Atlantic Ocean. So North Atlantic Ocean. So here you can say Itapecuru River. It flows northward and finally it meets the Atlantic Ocean, and the other river, that is Param, that is so this is river Paraniba. Again, it is north flowing river, a short flowing river. It goes towards the north and finally meets the North Atlantic Ocean. Then we have one more river, the river that enters South Atlantic Ocean, collects their headwater along the escarpment, river Puraguco. So here you can see this is that river. It meets the South Atlantic Ocean over here. So river Puraguaco. It is also called Pushgawak. This river enters to South Atlantic Ocean near Salvador town. So here Salvador town is situated over here, and this river has two names. So we have completed this part of Brazil's drainage system. Let us begin India. So let us study the drainage pattern of India. Rivers in India are largely classified according to their source region into Himalaya and peninsular river. So they are divided into two parts, that is the river originating from Himalaya and the peninsular rivers. So in this way we are going to study Himalayan river and peninsular river. So let us begin the first part, Himalayan river. Most of the major river of the Himalaya originate from various glacier. Glacier means, my dear student, the top of the Himalayan mountains, they are covered with the snow. This snow is formed a very thick snow. It is called glaciers. In summer, when glacier melts, the discharge of water increases in summer. So these rivers, whichever flows from the Himalaya during the summer, these ice or the snow starts melting, and river gets plenty of water. The discharge is very high. So even they get flooded during the summer, as well as during the monsoon also, because of the rain this river gets flooded. So therefore these rivers are called as perennial river. Perennial river means that the river which get water throughout the year, they are considered as perennial river. The drainage covers two major river systems such as Sindhu river system and Ganga river system. So I would like to show you river Sindhu originates near Mansarovar over here, and it goes in this way. This is Tibet, my dear student, this part of it. From here it starts originate, and finally it enters into Jammu and Kashmir. So this is river Indus or Sindhu, and it goes finally to Pakistan, and it flows and goes and meet Arabian Sea at Karachi. So this is one river system. And the second river which we are going to study is river Ganga. So river Ganga again origin from Lake Mansarovar. Here there are glaciers called Gangotri. From Gangotri it starts flowing river Ganga in this way, and from glacier Yamunotri, river Yamuna starts flowing. River Sindhu and its tributaries, that is river Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi and Satluj. So Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi and Satluj, these are its tributary. So they flow towards west and finally meets river Indus. They drain westward, they drain the water in the western Himalayas. They flow through the states of Jammu and Kashmir. So they flow in this way, and river Jhelum flows from Jammu and Kashmir, Ravi, Satluj in this way. They flow almost parallel to each other. So you can see river Indus flowing from Pakistan in this way. Parallel to it is Jhelum, then river Ravi, river Satluj, and Chenab river. So they are parallel flowing to each other. A major tributary of river Sindhu, the Satluj, originates near Mansarovar. You can have a look Mansarovar here. So river Satluj originate over here, Mansarovar. It flows in this way. This is river Satluj. It goes from Punjab and Haryana. Punjab plain have formed from the depositional work of this river and its tributary. So over here Punjab and Haryana. So this plain is formed because of the deposition work. The sediments which carried by river Satluj are deposited on the banks of river, and therefore Punjab is formed. Sindhu flows through Pakistan and then meets the Arabian Sea. The river Ganga originates from Gangotri Glacier and crosses the Himalaya to become an east flowing river. So please have a look over here. Gangotri glaciers are here, and it starts flowing river Ganga downside in this way. This is river Ganga. It flows. Okay. Many tributaries of the Ganga also flows in a similar manner. So you can have tributary of river Ganga is river Yamuna. Yamuna river starts origin from Yamunotri glacier, and it flows parallel to river Ganga, and finally it meets river Ganga at Allahabad here. Yamuna originates at Yamunotri. It's a major tributary of Ganga. Another major tributary of Ganga flows through the northern part of the greater Himalaya, crosses the Himalaya to enter India. When it flows through the Himalayas, it is called Sangapo. So have a look over here. Sangapo river originates near Tibet and it flows over here. So this is called Sangapo river. Then further, when it crosses the Himalaya, it is called Dhiang. So when it enters in India, this river is called Dhiang. And then further it goes, it flows, eastward flows. Thereafter, it is called as river Brahmaputra. So river Subansari is its tributary, where river Subansari and river Dhiang meets. From there onwards, it becomes river Brahmaputra, and it flows westward to go to meet Bangladesh. From time to time, Ganga meets its tributary, hence its discharge increases. So river Ganga has many tributaries, and therefore river Ganga carries plenty of water. The huge volume of water and huge deposition has led to the formation of a large delta. So you can have a look over here. River Ganga flows, brings lot of silt, sand, gravel, pebble. They come along with the water, and they flow over here. At the same time, river Brahmaputra also from eastern part comes and flows. They meet each other at Bangladesh. So, my dear student, river Ganga brings a lot of silt, gravel, pebble along with it, and river Brahmaputra also comes and meet river Ganga. Then it's the tributary. It is the tributary of river Ganga, and then here lot of distributaries are formed in the river. Finally, why distributaries are formed? Because it has a lot of loads. Loads means the silt, and therefore it stops in the way of the flow, and therefore water changes its course, and it looks like almost like the fan shape. So therefore the delta is formed here. It's one of the largest delta of the world, right, from Bangladesh and West Bengal. So largest delta is formed over here. Besides, so my dear student, please have a look how the delta looks. So I told you that both the river meets over here, and river Ganga finally meets Bay of Bengal. So delta is almost like triangle, and these are the distributaries of river. Water gets distributed in several channels, and it almost look like this. So this is called delta region. It is very fertile. Besides this Himalayan river, Ganga receives a number of tributaries from peninsular like Chambal, Ken, Betwa, Shon, Damodar. So you can have a look here. Chambal, Betwa, Ken, and river Shon over here. These are its tributary. They empty their water in main river is Ganga, and their tributaries means sub river. They empty their water in river Ganga, and river Ganga finally goes and meet the Bay of Bengal. So now we are going to study the peninsular river. Peninsular region is, this is the part of peninsular river. The peninsular river system can be further be divided into east flowing river, that is meeting the Bay of Bengal, and west flowing meeting the Arabian Sea. So east flowing river meeting the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. The west Western Ghat from forms a major water divide in the peninsula. So here, my dear student, Western Ghat is over here and it forms the water divide. How the water divide is, I will show you here. Please have a look. The Western Ghat is almost like this. So here it is steep slope towards the west, and towards the east the gentle slope. So water gets rainwater is collected over here. It goes towards the east, and this water goes in this way and meets Bay of Bengal. So this river meets Bay of Bengal. The river which flows towards the west, they are swift flowing river because the slope is very uh, 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 steep over here, and therefore this river flows steeply and finally they meet Arabian Sea. The peninsular river, being rain fed, seldom faces the problem of floods. So during the monsoon they get rainwater, and therefore they often get flooded during the monsoon. Otherwise the rest of the season they run dry. There are the west flowing rivers occupy the area between the Western Ghat and the Arabian coastline, are short in length but swift. So I take you back again. Now this is Western Ghats. It spread like this. So towards the western side, this is steep slope of the Western Ghat, and therefore this river flow very swiftly and they empty their water in the Arabian Sea. This condition of short and swift river system exists in the states of Kerala. Kerala is here in this way. Karnataka, Maharashtra, this is Maharashtra, and Gujarat. So this is Gujarat, my dear student. In this way, they flow. Further northward, one comes across river system flowing in the Gulf of Khambat. So have a look of Gulf of Khambat. This is called Gulf of Khambat, my dear student. And the rivers names are River Tapi, Narmada, Mahi, and Sabarmati. So you have a look of River Sabarmati. This is River Mahi, and River Narmada originates at Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh and flows westward, and River Tapi. So in this way, they empty their water at Gulf of Khambat. Tapi and Narmada flows slowly through Rift Valley. Mahi River flows from northeast to southwest direction, whereas River Sabarmati, collecting its headwater from the southern slope of Aravalli ranges, flows in somewhat north-south direction. So have a look of Sabarmati River. This is Aravalli mountain over here, Aravalli, and towards the southern part of Aravalli, water is collected, and then it moves. River Sabarmati goes and empty its water in the Arabian Sea at Gulf of Khambat. River Mai also collects its headwater and then empty its water in Gulf of Khambat. Another noteworthy river forming a catchment area of Arabian Sea is River Luni. It originates along the western slope of Aravalli and flows in the somewhat northwest to southwest direction and flows into Gulf of Kutch. So please have a look of River Luni. River Luni, my dear student, doesn't meet Arabian Sea. So it gets headwater from the Aravalli mountains and it moves towards the Gulf of Kutch. This is Gulf of Kutch, run of Kutch, I'm sorry, and it empty its water in the run of Kutch. So it doesn't meet the Arabian Sea. This water is emptied in the run of Kutch. Rivers meeting the Bay of Bengal. Rivers flowing towards the east and meeting the Bay of Bengal. So this river system is called River Ganga system. So main river is River Ganga. It originates at Trimbakeshwar near Nasik. So it's originate at Trimbakeshwar near Nasik, and it starts flowing. Its name is Godavari. It is also called as Southern Ganga. So it is the longest river in the peninsular system. It empty its water in Bay of Bengal. It has quite a many tributaries also, and they empty its water in Bay of Bengal. Let us see the next river, that is River Krishna. River Krishna originate at Mahabaleshwar near Satara, Vai Satara, and it collects its water from Mahabaleshwar. It flows again towards east. It has two main tributaries, that is River Bhima. You must have heard Bhima Shankar. So from Bhima Shankar, it collects its water, and it meets River Krishna, and it has also another tributary, that is River Tungabhadra, and both the tributaries meet River Krishna, and River Krishna empty its water at Bay of Bengal. This River Krishna also has the delta over here, like River Ganga has River Godavari has delta. As we have seen the delta, largest delta of the world, that is River Ganga and Brahmaputra systems delta. In the same way, River Godavari also has delta. This is Godawari's delta. Then it's Krishna delta, and then the third river, which eastward flowing river, is River Kaveri. River Kaveri flows from Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and then finally it goes to Tamil Nadu and empty its water at Bay of Bengal. So this river is very useful for irrigation purpose, and there was a dam built on River Kaveri. This dam was built by Chola king in 2nd century AD. This dam is still existing, and near about say 18th centuries, this dam is working and giving water to these two states for irrigation. So this dam is very useful for irrigation purpose, and River Kaveri finally meets Bay of Bengal, and it has a delta over here. Please have a look of the Sundarban Delta. So these are the several channels of River Ganga, and this in between the sand and silt gets deposited. Once the sand is deposited here, then it change its course. Again, sand is deposited here, it changes its course. So in between sand and silt, and it changes. So in this way, there are many channels are formed of River Ganga, and finally it meets the Bay of Bengal. My dear student, in this way, we have completed chapter 3rd, physiography and drainage. We have seen the physiography of India and Brazil, and drainage of India and Brazil. There are quite a many maps, my dear student. You can trace this map and draw in your notebook. That would be good, so that you will become well versed with River Amazon, River Brazilian rivers, and Pentinal and Cantinga, and so you must get used to this. So please draw the maps, and please read the lesson and write the question and answers in your notebook.